My name's Danny, and it's great to be here on a Friday. I'm a little bit better rested than last month, so you're not going to get as much sort of dry, sour cynicism, but you get some different perspectives. And we can probably go to the next slide. So we have a really great turnout today, and so thank you. We also had our speakers like really rally their cults, their respective cults. So thank you for doing that, and we just love seeing so many new faces. So bring people. I know that there are folks who did. I know Tom brought some friends from Sonoma, and Darren brought some friends from Sonoma and others. And there's always a new Daunt that's here, which we're excited about. Every time there's a new Daunt. And so we started this to kind of really do things like this to bring our community together and to create more, kind of cohesion. And we just want to keep building on that. And so there are connections. And so I heard Stephanie say in the back, like, wow, we actually have a creative community here. It's not just at Captain and Stoker. It's in other places as well, which is neat. You didn't? No. Yeah, Captain Stoker's great. It's great. Yeah, it's really great. So we're excited to kind of continue to build on this momentum. And, we moved here a couple of years ago, and we knew that there were creative people here, and there's an extraordinary creative heritage here, really an amazing one, and it's still here, and there's still that rhythm and that energy, and it continues to inspire people to be here. But we can grow it. We can enhance it. So there are a couple of people I just wanted to kind of call out and thank. We're back at Wave Street, so I want to say thank you to Rhett and Judy for continuing to be kind of our first home. I think you can see that this is an amazing community space. You can pay to host your events here. You can really dream about things you can do here. So Rhett and Judy are very often like working during this time. So you don't expect them to come up to you and say, host your event here. Like, go up to them or reach out to them. And so think about that. I know that people have had really impactful events that they've hosted here. I think Cassie did an event here, right? And I think Jason Schnitzer's daughter had her bat mitzvah here, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Yeah, true story. And I heard it was fun. Yeah, I guess my invite I didn't know you yet. That's true. Okay. So this is an amazing space. I want to thank them. The other thing I want to mention is that Maria Shetler's in the back there. And Maria Shetler is one of our incredible creative and entrepreneurial spirits of the area. And her calendars are works of art. And she has them actually for sale in that room. And she takes Venmo. And the reason that this happened actually is that our daughter, Leslie is my wife here, our daughter's 11, and she didn't have a new calendar. She thought she could just cross out the 3 and write 4, and that would work. So I explained to her that it doesn't work because the days are different, and you might get a little confused. And so what we realized, then I showed her. 1996. Thank you. Yeah, and that's why the Daunts are here, is for facts like that. 1996. So that's something. So we're going to buy one of Maria's calendars today, and I would encourage you to check them out. They're amazing, and they really kind of represent sort of the local spirit of art in the area. I'm also going to invite Michelle up here, and I think Michelle's going to talk about who provided our.
Is my mic on?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Good.
And you're also going to talk about where the food came from today, right? And then you're going to take the program. So. Take it away. You have a mic.
This is the handoff.
Yeah. So I'll put this. Whoosh. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
Okay. See you soon. Sometimes I have to check in with them. I'm like, so are we doing this again? Am I on board? I'm so glad I am, because this is like just the juiciest community happening in our creative community. So thank you for encouraging your own creative spirit and being here to network, to grow, to be inspired, to rise, which is our theme today. I'm really grateful to Gundiga, our fabulous queer sister, who is bringing the delicious food. Oh my God, those little sandwiches, the frittata, the banana pancake. I loved it. Thank you so much. If you ever need someone to do your brunch, call Gundiga. I was a little sad there weren't pierogies. Oh, next time. Because I love your pierogies, but next time. So yeah, she does pierogies. If you don't know what pierogies are, they're little bready things stuffed with sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. Yeah. Okay, so don't we have sponsors we thank? Also, there's the slide. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got Hawk Tower, which is Danny's amazing deal. You should check it out. Wave Street Studios, obviously, Rhett, and Mercer Advisors. Who are those people? This is new. Thank you for being a new sponsor. I don't know who you are. Plug anyone? No. Okay. All right. The Pearl Works, our amazing community co-working space. They've been our longtime sponsors. Thank you to John and Alora. Where are you? And Heidi. Hello. Hello. Wonderful. Love you guys. They do lots of local events, connect with your community. If you need to host a meeting in a legit, gorgeous space, they're right across from the old Morgans, now East Village, downtown Monterey. Beautiful new building, and I can't wait to have a meeting there when I'm feeling all legit. So if you want to get your legit on, go to Pearl Works. They also have those calling booths that they have in cities, you know, where you like go in, you can take calls and no one can hear you. Great for annoying people like me. Oh my God. Okay, and House of 8 Media, Mike and his team, his son, you guys making us mic'd. And are we live streaming? Okay. Tell me next time, because I tell people, oh, you could do it online like my grandmother. Okay, we gotta talk more. Okay, so anyways, these are our sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, talk to me or anybody who's working. You can be a part of supporting this amazing network of community action. All right, how will you make a difference? You cover costs of running the chapter. We're so lucky to have this chapter in Monterey. It's great. Span food production, venue marketing, tech, flexible, bespoke packages, not channeled for profit. I'm learning so much. This is good. All right, so we're going to go to our opener, Oh Rise, like the Phoenix. Who told me last night they had a lover who changed their name to Phoenix and disappeared? Yeah, it's a good name to disappear on. Fly away on a cloud, Phoenix. Okay, so we're going to rise with Megan, Mojo Yoga. She's got great little information out front if you ever want to take a class with her, prenatal stuff. She's growing. She's always digging. She's always bringing it. So thanks for being here. Sister Mama, come up here. Help us get grounded.
Hi, everyone.
Such a soothing
I'm so
voice.
excited to be here. My name's Megan, and really, I truly am thrilled. I'm excited about the potential that can happen with gathering this way each month. I have to tell you something. So last month was my first time attending, and I walked into the room at Wendy's beautiful space and just felt an energy shift within myself. And as I left, it was pretty clear what that was. And it felt like it's the high quality, high vibrational people that were in the room, and that's all of you. So whether you attended last month and whether I know you or not, I'm just really happy to be in a new community as someone who actually builds a lot of communities for others. So yes, Megan Cassamas, Rising Up Through Community. I host a lot of community events. And we can slip to the next slide. Just to share a little more about Moja, you've heard that word being thrown around, and you have even said Mojo. It's okay, don't worry. Mojo or Moha, what does this mean? When I started my business in 2014, it really felt important to choose a word that embodied oneness, interconnectedness, wholeness. So the word Moja means one in Swahili, and I have some ties to Kenya, which is a different story. I can share that later. It also means great mother, and that's in Norwegian culture, is great mother, and I do lots of mother-centered work. I'm a mom of 2 myself, a doula, but even if you're not a mom, you don't resonate with that at all, I'm sure you can resonate with the great mother, right? Mother Earth, nature, connection. It also means brave warrior. Oh, one second. Brave warrior in Greek, and I think of inner strength and outer strength, and I think I know that Moja can't happen unless we all gather, so it really is about community and connection. When I was thinking about what I wanted to share today, I'm up here for just a short amount. I was really inspired by this beautiful image, the artist feature this week or this month, and the Phoenix, right? We all know about that story a little bit. She's beautiful. She's got these golden and red hues and these beautiful feathers. And this is an ancient myth, right? It's been around for so long, this story. And it's told that there's only one phoenix that exists at a time. Like they live for 200 years. And even when they sing, like when they sing to the sky or they sing to the cloud, the sun really, the sun pauses, it stops moving just to receive her beautiful melody. But something that's really special about the phoenix is that when her life cycle is over, she lights herself on fire. And most of us think of fire as destruction, right? But not the phoenix. The phoenix actually sees it as rebirth, renewal, growth. She knows that from the ashes, something really beautiful is going to rise again. And that's a new phoenix, a new beginning. So I just love that. And I think that we can all relate to that on some level when we're thinking about rising, when we're thinking about going to the depths of our underworld journey and then coming back up again to the upper world. But the cycles, right? It's actually deeply rooted within us as humans. We are cyclical beings, and we know that by just, checking in with the rise and the fall of the breath, the cycle there. You can go outside and look at the moon. What phase is the moon in? Is it waxing? Is it waning? Is it coming into fullness? Or is it going back into that dark new moon phase? Seasons, we're in winter. Winter's not a time for a lot of growth. We're actually supposed to be inward and doing less, and our society doesn't do that. We're like, January, let's do all the things. But actually, it's a time where we're supposed to go inside and go to that inward place. It's dark, it's shadow, but even winter knows that spring is going to come again, and spring is a time for growth and new blooms and life and all of that exciting energy. So before I close here, I want to share with you that there's three stages of a rite of passage or a transformation, and it's within the story of the phoenix. But the first one is separation, right? Separation is the loss of, there's a loss, right? There's a death of some sort. You are no longer your own with that phase. You could think of that as the shadow part or the dark part. But then there's the second phase, which is the transformation or transition, really. And that is where, that's what society views as like, you did the thing, you rose up to the sky, you're way up there, amazing, you are flying high, so great, you climbed the top of the mountain, you did all the things, look at you. But still within that, there's a loss, there's something that the earth takes and you don't get it back, right? And then the third stage, which I think is the most important, is integration. And when we integrate, that's when we take the gems from our journey and the gems from what we received from being in the ashes, and we bring them back to the community, and we bring that wisdom and know that with the fire, it's not destruction, it's actually so much beauty. And so I don't know exactly what you're going to be speaking about today, Stephanie, but I do have some sense that within your story, you're coming back and using your voice and letting community hold you with when you're in the ashes or when you're in the sky is so special. So I really am excited to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not used to standing up like holding a mic. We're normally moving our bodies and doing all the things and the deep breathing. But I would like to close with just one more really deep breath. And this one's different though. Some sounding will be involved. So really use your voice with this one. Okay, and if it helps, you can place your hands on your rib cage and feel your ribs, feel your bones. And you're going to breathe in. Let's do it together. Deepest breath that you've taken all day now, all day. Deep breath in. Go all the way to the top. It almost feels uncomfortable there. And when you're ready to exhale, let it go out your mouth. Some sound there. Let it go. Ah. So nice. Thank you. I'm hoping that we can connect more after. You can scan this QR code. I thought that might be a good idea, but who knows if it is. We can talk after. And community events, lots of yoga happening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, you're a co-founder and chief creative officer of Lemonada. Who's looked her up? So excited. Okay, and you're an award-winning podcast producer with a network that's the mission is to make life suck less. So thank you for that. Saw your mom in the front seat with the t-shirt.
Mom, stand up. Mom, stand up.
Mom, stand up.
She's wearing the merch. Moms.
I knew it was
Love
your mom
moms.
right away. When I saw her in the front, I'm like, that's Mom. I love it.
Great.
So thank you, and welcome to the community.
Thank you.
That's, I think, what's great for us here in PG, where things have been really quiet and slow for many years now, and all of a sudden there's these Hollywood stars, and people from Tesla. It's amazing. Anyways, I also thought I'd make this a small audition because I want to be involved with whatever you're doing.
You're hired.
Wonderful. I heard you're also producing your podcast out of AMP, which is our local
Yes.
broadcaster.
The AMP
So
people are there. Yay.
yay, AMP, Paula. That's like, world-class local connection. I love that. So congratulations and yos. And you were also named among 2022's top most 50 powerful people in podcasting. That's powerful stuff.
I guess. I suppose it is.
Yeah, no, I think
Very
that
powerful.
is. And by Podcast Daily News, I mean, this is legit. This
Thank
is the
you.
type of stuff we all want. Like, someone say something about me. But you earned it. And you also, should I say everything or just let you speak? I'm getting nervous. Coach, help me. Okay, Sean Perlmutter, coach. Okay, so let's see. Your flagship show is confronting massive epidemics with humor, compassion, and a quest for progress. That's amazing. I feel like humor is such a beautiful tool for transformation, and it takes a lot of intelligence. And you've transmuted some serious things in your life and risen like the phoenix. So I feel like that was a good intro with Megan.
It was perfect.
Yeah, it was really sweet. Thank you, Megan. Yeah. Deeper breath. Yeah, you've been on the morning edition and late night with Seth Meyers. That's really cool. And your best-selling book, Everything is Horrible and Wonderful, is it tragicomic? Tragicomic Memoir of Genius, Heroin, Love, and Loss. Amazing. No wonder it's a bestseller. I want to bring you up.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
My God. Oh,
Yes.
we can be gnomes.
I know. I'm quite small.
Oh,
You're
I'm
quite tall.
we could be good gnomes together.
I find bios so embarrassing. Okay, I am so happy to be here today. This is incredible. I told Danny, I did a Creative Mornings 5 years ago in Houston. It's such an amazing event, and holy cow, we are packed here today. So thanks for coming. Okay, so I want to start by kind of framing things for you. The last, let's just call it a decade. We're going to make things easy and call it a decade. The last decade has sucked in a variety of ways, okay? Truly. Anyone else in that boat? Show of hands? Great, yeah. In a room full of humans, I'm 100% confident that all of us, 100% of us, are either currently dealing with shit that sucks, just getting over some shit that sucked, or the product of shit sucking in childhood. Yeah, it's almost like the sucky shit is a real part of life. And yeah, thank you, the Phoenix. That was a more profound way of saying what I just said. That was very, very beautiful. So rest assured, there's also been so many life-affirming, transformative, joyful, meaningful experiences that I've also had woven throughout. That's what life is. Everything is horrible and wonderful. But for the sake of a place to start, I want to start with a moment where some kind of, let's call it a nuclear bomb, is dropped on your life, destroying it all, and changing you on a cellular level. The kind of event that is so big and vast that it can take months, years, even decades to emotionally recover. And listen, as great as staying in bed for decades sounds, my kids have to eat like 6 times a day at a minimum. It's not an option for me. So I want to talk about how do we, particularly creative people like this in this room together, how do we get to the other side of a moment like that? How do we rise from the ashes? And more importantly, how do we create from a place like that? Because I think they're related. For me, at least, they are. So let me tell you my story. I'm going to set the scene. It's February 2015. I'm living in Houston, Texas. My mom lives there. This lovely lady here. I don't live with her at the time. I'm married. I have a husband. His name is Mike. We have a 1-year-old. Her name is Iris. And I was born and raised in Houston. My little brother, Harris, he's the other member of the family, lives in LA. He's a writer, producer, actor, working on a little show no one's ever heard of called Parks and Recreation. So I actually brought a little footage to show you him doing his thing. Hit it, Lucas.
Welcome to Animal Control. Let me show you around. Those are some chairs. That's a cat or possum. Oh, this is a napkin where I wrote down a cool name for a dog. Bark Obama.
Right.
What's happening here?
Oh, yeah, we found this bird outside. We tried to turn it into a work whistle, like in the beginning of the Flintstones. Tougher than it looked, though.
We have a massive pest problem in this town, and it's because the animal control department has been a disaster at catching animals. They're great at ingesting and selling marijuana. This place is a miserable suckhole run by 2 pothead losers. It's completely and utterly mismanaged.
Thanks.
It does seem to be very poorly run. But we've only been here for 2 minutes. There may be a method to their madness. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
4. There's 4 ways to skin a cat. Ready to blow?
Ow! What is this?
Coyote trap, dude.
This hurts!
Yeah, we got like a huge vermin problem. I mean, we've been meaning to call somebody about it, but nobody get on the phone.
You're the people you would be calling.
That is so trippy.
Ow! You're fired. You're fired. The whole department is fired. Ow, this hurts. This was one of my running feet.
Yo, let's go to Jamaica.
No, we should go to Jamaica. Oh, is that what you said?
He was the little one. Genetics, am I right? So anyway, aside from being this adorable actor, he also coined the term humble brag. Anyone ever use that? That's from his brain. He wrote jokes for President Barack Obama. He did for the actual one, not the napkin. And he won an Emmy for his work on Master of None. I could continue to recite his resume to you, but we would be here for the entire day, and we're all very busy, so I will stop there. I think the most important thing to know about him is he was the most funny, charming person in any room, hands down. That was his greatest gift. He was also addicted to heroin, and he was in and out of rehab several times over that year. And if anyone in this room has ever dealt with addiction, you know it is an absolute hellscape. It is a nightmare. It is a roller coaster. We were on it. We couldn't get off, and it was a really hard time. So it's February 19th, 2015. I am changing my baby's diaper in a public restroom, and I get a call from an unknown LA area code. There's actual diaper stuff happening, so I press ignore. And they call again, and my heart sank because I had a feeling what was on the other line. And it was a detective telling me that my beautiful, funny brother had died. Yeah, of a heroin overdose. He was 30 years old, and that was the bomb. That was the bomb. It dropped. Everything was destroyed. I hit the ground on the bathroom floor of that public restroom, and I metaphorically stayed there for a very, very long time. I remember waking up the next day, which happened to be my birthday. It's fine. Who cares anymore when you're in your 30s? And now no one really cares. But yeah, I was crying. I was in tears waking up, and I remember thinking, like, how is it possible to wake up from a sleep state in tears? That's how it felt. And the only thing that would get me out of bed was the baby. Oh, God, she was the greatest medicine, right? And, she was a baby. So she would sleep all the time in the car. And she would only sleep in the car. She would only nap in the car. And this baby happens to be turning 10 on Sunday, which is unbelievable. I know, time moves. So we'd hang out in the car, she would sleep, I would sit in the front seat. I was parked in driveways and parking lots, and I couldn't be on social media because that was the worst place to be in a grief space. So I decided to start jotting down my really fragmented thoughts and feelings on my notes app on my iPhone. And it didn't necessarily make me feel better. Nothing made me feel better, but it gave me a concrete place to put the grief. I was like, I'm going to put it from here and here, all this darkness into that. And there was so much grief, so much, that the list got really, really, really long. It was so long. The note was, if it was a thing, it would have been one of those things, you know? And my husband, he was like, why don't you take all this and put it on the internet, you know, as an essay? Did you guys know you could do that? You can take your thoughts and feelings and put them online. You're welcome. So I did that, and I was just sugar-coated nothing, was brutally, brutally honest. He died in February. This was about June, so I was still a real open nerve. I truly didn't know who would read it. I thought at the very least it would explain to my friends, my family, why I'm not picking up the phone, texting them back, maybe ever again, never showering ever again, nothing. I was nothing. What ended up happening was so unexpected, to your point about community, about this. This online community of people who had experienced this came out of the woodwork to share their stories with me. And I swear to you, it was the first time since he died that I didn't feel completely alone in this world. I felt like a sense of connection that I didn't even know I needed until it showed up. It was really healing. And one of the people who reached out was a literary agent who said, do you have any desire to turn this into a book? And I'm like, lady, I can't brush my teeth right now. So no. But I do find writing to be therapeutic. It's the only thing that's kind of like making me feel grounded right now. So I will keep doing that. And at the end of whatever it is, if you want to try to make it a book, we can do that. And if not, thank you so much. That was so nice of you to reach out. And you seem great, and let's stay in touch. So I wrote, and I didn't know it. You know, like when you're watching your kids grow and you see them every day, you don't know that they're getting taller. And then one day you look at them and you're like, holy shit, you are right there. You know, it was like that. I started healing slowly, bit by bit. I mean, unbeknownst to me, until I got to the point where I could effortlessly get out of bed. What a gift. Just laugh, genuinely laugh, not like pretend to smile, you know? And after a year of feeling like I really didn't want to live in this version of my life anymore, decide I wanted to live, like really live, in a way with intention, not a passive liver, but I want to take all this rubble and destruction, and I want to rebuild this house where I want it. And I want to do what the fuck I want to do, whatever that is. I have to figure it out first, but I want to do something different. And this is God, so good. Yeah. Megan taught us about this. And I quit my job. I had been an acting teacher at a performing arts high school for a long time, and I loved it, but I was done with that. And I opened a nonprofit performance space and bar in downtown Houston. I wrote the book. Some of you got it. It's right there. Yes, that's the book. I went on a book tour. And in 2018, I got a cold email in my inbox. I was a week away from giving birth to my second kid at the time. I'm very small. I was very large, and I didn't want to do anything. Getting on the phone was hard. But this woman, her name was Jess. She sent me this lovely email And she was an executive producer for a show called Pod Save the People with DeRay McKesson, which is on Crooked Media. And she had heard me on a podcast called Terrible Thanks for Asking, and she wanted to connect. So as this is a creative event, I thought, what better way to tell you about this than to play you some audio of this thing. So take it away, Lucas.
July 2017. My mother had recently discovered podcasts, and her appetite for them was insatiable. Every other day, she was basically texting me for recommendations. So I told her about a show called Terrible Thanks for Asking, hosted by Nora McInerney. Within the span of a month, Nora lost her husband to brain cancer and her father, and then she had a miscarriage. And then she made a podcast about it. So I knew this would be right up my mother's alley because the show features people going through the worst times of their lives, and my mom is super into this kind of depressing content. So she listens, falls in love with the show, and unbeknownst to me, writes in to say she's got a story. She tells them about my brother, Harris, and his struggles with addiction, and how he died, and how her life is essentially a pile of rotten garbage now. They, of course, eat it up because it is a very, very, very sad story. And also maybe because he was sort of a famous, beloved comedian, in addition to being my brother. Regardless, whatever reason, it doesn't matter. They invite her to come on the show. And this is where she emails me to tell me she's going on Terrible Thanks for Asking, and to also tell me that I have to go on with her. I genuinely have no desire to do this, but the aggravation of guilt by my mother is greater than the aggravation of going on a podcast. So we go on the show. It airs September 11th, 2017. Here's my mom and me talking to Nora. Nora's the one cracking up in the background.
I need a lot of hugs. I'm a hugger now. I just want to hug people, perfect strangers. I need that. It's my addiction now. And
You just said you were addicted to hugs.
Yeah.
I just want to exclamation mark that statement.
I think I am. Yeah, and
Get this woman into rehab.
5 months later, a woman named Jess, 1,000 miles away in Minneapolis, Minnesota, was bracing herself for a very shitty day. It was her birthday. It was cold. And it was shitty because her brother, Stefano, had died a few months earlier of a fentanyl overdose.
So my brother, Stefano Cordova Jr., died on Monday, October 23rd in 2017, and it's the worst fucking thing that ever happened. And I was in a total grief fog, yada, yada, yada.
Grief fog.
Grief fog.
That's a good way to describe it. That's Jess, obviously, talking to me. Jess was a regular listener to TTFA, as it's known, and knew there was an episode about a sister who lost her brother to an overdose. And honestly, what could be more celebratory than that? So she saved the episode for this very hard day, popped in her headphones, and went for a walk.
So I went for a walk in February in Minneapolis. Sometimes it's so cold it doesn't really snow, and it was like that gray bone cold. And I bundled up and I went outside. And I swear to God, it was the first time I felt joy. It was the joy of like someone else. This is just life. Like people die, and sometimes your brother dies of a heroin overdose, and you can sit in a studio with your mom and like be on the other side of going through the shitstorm that I was in and laugh again and celebrate that person, in your case, Harris. And so I just had this moment of like, okay, like, I think I can live through this. Like, this is not just me. That just didn't happen to just me. It happened to someone else.
After she listened, Jess reached out to the stranger in her ears. Me. It was me. I'm the stranger.
I know. Thank you. I know. It's so weird playing audio in a room with people. Like, it's truly one of my least favorite things. I just felt like we needed to all hear it because she said it so much better than I could have. Jess did there. So we get on the phone, like I said, super pregnant, get on the phone. It's talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, hello, self. I know you're a million miles away, but I know you. And we instantly, cosmically connected. She told me all about Stefano. I told her all about Harris. We talked for about an hour, over an hour. And at the end, she said, do you have any desire to not to turn, that was the book. Do you have any desire to make a podcast about the opioids crisis? And I said, no. That sounds fucking horrible. I would rather not. But you are so much fun. I love you. Let's be friends. We'll stay in touch. And I'm going to go have a baby, and then we'll circle back. So a week later, I have the baby. We name him Harrison, after my brother. Yes, he's now 5. But at the time, he was 5 months old. You know, have him. He didn't come out 5 months old. That would be rough. No, he came out newborn, and then he turned 5 months old. And he's on the floor doing baby things, you know, rolling around. And I'm scrolling the website formerly known as Twitter, and I see a headline that says opioids are killing more people now than car accidents. And my breath was stolen. I opened the mail app. I emailed Jess, and I said verbatim, I hate the world right now, and I want to do something/anything to change it. So count me in. And she was like, woohoo, I wore her down. She's so good at wearing people down. It's truly like the greatest gift. This is why she's the CEO and I'm the chief creative officer. So we got to work. We got to work on this podcast called Last Day. You just heard an excerpt from episode 2 of the show. And we really wanted to figure out what could we have done differently, right? Like, what could we have done differently to save our brothers? And we went on a whole reported exploration of that question and really found some pretty clear answers by the end of it. But we started pitching it out, and we were pitching to these amazing networks, right? You know, WNYC, APM, all these great places. And everyone was giving us the same feedback, which was, wow, oh my God, what an incredible story. Like, meaningful. Too niche, you know? Oh. We were like, come on. I mean, 70,000 people died of opioid overdoses in 2017. It's not niche. It's not something we want to talk about at the dinner table, but that's not niche, that's shame, that's stigma, right? Like, that's not niche. So, thank you. So we decided, you know what, fuck it, let's do it ourselves. We're grief-stricken type A ladies, what else do we have to do? And not only that, but like, if it fails, who cares? That doesn't matter. That's the worst thing. No, please, we lived through the worst thing, we're fine, let's do the dumb podcast, okay? And then we start working on that. We realized, like, you know what? This niche thing, this comment, like, we couldn't let it go. We thought, there's so many things like that occupy our minds, that keep us awake at night, that make us scared to put our feet on the ground in the morning. What if we make an entire network around all the hard shit that we're all dealing with by ourselves? And what if we call it Lemonada? And what if our brand statement is making life suck less? And so we did it. We made the company. And all of these podcasts are ours. We now have over 50 podcasts under the umbrella. We're in our 5th year of operating. We have around 50 employees all over the country. And then at the end of last year, this gorgeous, stunning woman, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, we won Apple Podcast Show of the Year for her show. I know. It's called Wiser Than Me, if you haven't heard it. It is so fantastic. Has anyone heard the show? Yeah, she talks to older women and gets all their wisdom, and it's so good. So anyway, yeah, listen, bona fide story of triumph. You know what I mean? I can see that. I recognize it. I do need to point out it wasn't the plan, right? A giant media company was never my plan. Making people's lives better, like one little teeny tiny podcast at a time, that was the goal and that was the why for us. And because we were so intentional about that and we kept putting out all the honest, authentic stuff we could do, it struck a nerve. This was like, we launched in September 2019. Remember, COVID happened in March of 2020. So like we thought the world was hard when we started, and then it got a lot harder for everyone. And it grew and it grew, and now here we are. And we also worked really fucking hard, let me be clear. Every teeny tiny step of the way, blood, sweat, and tears, the whole nine. It was, it's been a lot, but really amazing. And I think when I look at the entire journey as a whole, I can see a really clear through line, you know, from making that first Medium post about my grief to today. And that is that sharing our stories matters. It really matters. You know, I really believe that making the authentic, honest thing that I need can become the thing that you need. And that is so powerful. Or it can't. It can just stay disjointed fragments of grief on your notes app. You know, that's also fine. Either way, I find such benefit in getting it out. In whatever medium you work in, just getting it out of your body, your mind, your heart, your soul. So my husband actually, to wrap this up, sent me a Instagram post this week. Can you go to the next slide, Lucas? This is what it said. Make some art and you will feel better. And I deeply, truly, from the bottoms of my feet, could not agree more. Whether you are making something to share with others or something to keep all to yourself, I encourage you to make some art. You will feel better.
I think we probably have time for one question, just because we are running a little bit late. If anyone has a question or
That's a lot of pressure. It better be
44.
good. because
44, okay.
go ahead. Yeah.
It sounds like you're talking a lot about resilience, too. Do you, in addition to all this, do you have like workshops that you do? Or,
no.
or are you thinking, well, let's talk,
You're so
okay?
sweet.
Let's talk.
No.
okay?
I should do some workshops. Yeah, let's talk.
I'll help.
This is my new business plan right here. I like it.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie, so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I gave 5 people got books.
Oh, great. Wendy Zito got one.
Yeah.
And are they on? Okay, you got
It's
one as
really
well?
sad. Have fun.
Great. What can go wrong? Okay. Wow, that was extraordinary. So let me just do a couple things. So I want to introduce our next speaker, and then I'll ask folks to come up, and I'm going to give them very specific instructions as well. So please pay attention to those. Next month, we have a woman named Kate. And Kate's story is, well, it's going to be hard to top that story, but Kate's story is a different one. Kate is a story about a photographer who left the Ukraine because of war and came to Carmel. And it's an unbelievable story of like a kind of a thoroughly modern individual. And she is a professional photographer. She's a professional portrait photographer. I encourage you to follow her on Instagram, where she has something like 45,000 followers. And she'll tell a story that involves how she became a photographer, how she came to Carmel, how she came to photograph Clint Eastwood, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and others. Wow. It's an unbelievable story. And Sean Perlmutter in the back is working with Kate, because we're doing something different next time, which is actually we won't have an opener. It's going to be just Kate. And Kate, like many artists, is very sure of how like her full story is a 45-minute story at least. And in Kate's case, of course, it's a bigger story than that. But she says, I just need at least 45 minutes. So we decided to take a chance on that, and that's next month. So it'll be here, February 16th with Kate.